Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. The translation, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? I am a woman who is aged 27 years old, but I want to confess the things that I did to my elder brother, but I do not feel ashamed of the things that I did, because what else did you want me to do? So this brother of mine, he was the first one who came here to South Africa, and he started working. Then when he got married, I think that is where he messed everything up, because he married his witch of a wife, and his wife actually wanted me to become a witch like her. How do I know that she wanted me to become a witch? The moment that my brother started sleeping with this woman, I actually started to have a lot of dreams, and I was always being chased by this strange woman. But when I was still back home, she used to manage to hide her face. So when my brother said to me that the man that he was working for was looking for a maid, so he had spoken with his boss, and the boss had agreed that if he could bring me to South Africa, it was going to be perfect. My brother then sent me the money, and when I had gone to collect this money from this other Mukuru branch, I actually felt a very terrible headache. The moment that the agent gave me the money, it was like there was someone who hit me straight in the head with a hammer. Then I took that money and I returned back home. On that same night, I had a dream. It was that same woman that was covering her face, and she kept on telling me to follow her. So as I was following her, that was when I found out that she was actually going with me into this other graveyard, and there were some ladies that were there that were waiting for me. Then I said, why are you saying that I should accompany you into the graveyard? Are you a dead person? Are you a ghost? Then that woman turned around and she was angry at me, and she said, why don't you just follow me? Why are you so stubborn like this? Your spirit is so stubborn. Then she started calling out to her friends that were waiting for us in the graveyard, and then she said, her spirit is so stubborn. What must I do with her? Should I just kill her so that we can eat her flesh? When I heard telling her friends that she was thinking of actually killing me, and so that they can eat my flesh, I then started running, and I ran. Like when you are having dreams, when you are having a dream, you will be running in slow motion. That is what was happening to me. And I woke up. When I woke up, I started to speak with my ancestors. Then I asked my ancestors to protect me in the land of South Africa, where I was going to. Then the next day, I then went to the Malaicha's house. I spoke with him. I gave him the money. Then we got onto his taxi, and we came here to South Africa with that same Malaicha. When we came here, my brother came and picked me up, and my brother told me that he did not have the time to tell me that he was now staying with his wife, his new wife, here in South Africa, even though they were not legally married. And he told me that he only had one room, but still we had to share this room until I would have gotten my full month salary. So I agreed. When I saw her, I saw that this was the same woman that has been chasing me in my dreams. That very same night when I started staying with my brother and his girlfriend, that was when I saw my brother's wife. She actually came to me and she told me that she wanted me and her to become sisters in the spirit. When she saw that she could not tempt me into becoming a witch, that was when she tried to force herself on me so that I can become like her. But unfortunately, she was too late, because I had been told everything about her at this other church that I was going to, because I grew up in the White Garment Church. And when I came here, that was the first church that I looked for in that same location where my brother was staying. So as I was going to that White Garment Church, there was a prophet who actually told me that my sister-in-law, he was the one who was doing all of these things to me, who was making me to have all of these nightmares. And then there was this other morning when I woke up and I felt so much pain in my back area. And when I went to that prophet, the problem that happened was that he invited me into his room, and when I went into his room, the things that he wanted to do to me, I immediately saw that this man was nothing but a lustful man who wanted to take advantage of me. And I said, it is far much better that I look for a respectful traditional healer. I did not find a healer here in South Africa, and I then went back home. I wanted a healer that was going to help me to defend myself, to strengthen my spirit. So most of the healers here in South Africa, they were unable to strengthen me. They would give me some charms, but when I would use those charms, my sister-in-law, she would have a party with me on that night that I would have taken those charms that I would have been given, that would have been given to me by the healer that would have assisted me. So I said, let me return back home. When I returned back home, I then went to this other elderly woman whom I knew that indeed she was really strong. So this woman then gave me this other charm. In Shona, we call it Dungwa. So this is a charm that protects you. And when she gave me that charm, then she told me that I had to wear it for a year around my waist. So I wore that charm around my waist, and there was no one who could see that I actually had this other small bottle, and inside that small bottle there was a worm that was in there. So this was the charm that was actually protecting me. So my brother, after I had been given that charm, I came here and I kept on working, and then me and that woman, we started to fight a lot because I had some charms that were very powerful that she was fighting against. You know, when one is a witch, they want to show you that they are more powerful. So when she would come to the place where I was staying, she was unable to enter into that room. So she started hiring the services of other South African witches. There would be like an army, and they would come, then they would attack me. And I want to thank God that at that time, when my sister-in-law wanted me to lose my mind, my madam boss was there with her husband when I lost my mind. And when I started running mad, I ran mad for about 2 weeks. And when I woke up, to my surprise, I was in the hospital. I was then told that on the day that I lost my mind, I was busy playing with the baby because my madam had a baby, and at that time the baby was already learning how to walk. Then I was told that what shocked them was that all of a sudden I just picked up the baby violently and I started running towards the swimming pool because that is where I wanted to go and throw this baby. But as for me, I do not remember anything. I do not remember anything at all. But all of these things that had happened to me, it was because of my evil sister-in-law. When I woke up in the hospital, I was told that I was going to be given some medication, and they were going to keep me in that hospital until they were sure that I was now okay. I ended up staying in the hospital for 6 more months, and when they were sure that now I was okay, I was then taken out of the hospital. I used the last money that I had and I ran back home. I went and I spoke with that old lady, and she said that indeed she was the one who had seen that I was about to kill this little baby when I was running to the swimming pool so that I can throw this innocent baby into the swimming pool. Then she actually was the one who blocked me, who stood in the way and assisted me. That is why I ended up falling down before I had reached the place where the swimming pool was, and the parents of that baby then ran and picked up their child and called the police, and then they realized that I was now losing my mind. I was thankful to that traditional healer. Even right now, I owe her my life. And when she said that I still had that spirit that causes one to go crazy, she said we have to do a go back to sender. So we started to create the altar of go back to sender. And when we successfully built up that altar, that was when she sent that spirit that came out of that altar to return back everything that this woman wanted to happen to me. It was going to happen to her. But this woman, she is a very powerful witch. She then deflected that spirit, and then my brother was the one who ended up losing his mind. I took my brother and I went with him back home. When I went with him back home, I took him straight to that traditional healer, for I knew that she was the one who had made my brother to fall sick, since she was the one who had called upon these demons from hell that she had sent using a go back to sender. So I wanted her to reverse this curse. Unfortunately, she told me that it was not possible for these demons. They had been trapped in hell for a very long time. She said that now that they are here, it is going to take a very long time for them to agree to return back to hell, for it is cold and hot at the same time. They want to be here on earth, walking among us, the living. So that woman said, all that we can do is that we can strengthen this altar. And when she said that she could strengthen this altar and I was going to benefit at the end of the day, I agreed, because now there was money that was involved. As long as my brother will be running mad, so I will be making my own money. This is how I have made it in life, by using my brother's madness. All that I wanted to do was to defend myself. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by our dear sister right there. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world.